A war is coming. Too long has my home, the city of midnight, been engulfed by rampant violence. We did not seek, nor did we provoke an assault on our freedoms and our way of life. We did not expect, nor did we invite a confrontation with evil. Yet the true measure of a people's strength is how they rise to master that moment when it does arrive. 2,977 people have been killed, and more than 6,000 have been injured since the night of the fires, the night the Shadaloo Syndicate laid waste to our city. 72 law enforcement officers were killed when, after having heard the initial explosion from their precinct, they ran into the fires to get people out. Ran into the fires. The streets of heaven are too crowded with angels tonight. They are our students and our teachers and our parents and our friends. The streets of heaven are too crowded with angels. But every time we think we have measured our capacity to meet a challenge, we look up and we're reminded that that capacity may well be limitless. This is a time for heroes. We will do what is hard. We will do what is necessary. This is a time for heroes. And we reach for the stars. Shadaloo and Zanzibar land. I was in full mock gear on a mission with my JSOC unit when it happened. Things went bad quick, and the city of midnight went dark. It was a massacre. The guys I was training with were from all over. SEAL Team 2 out of Little Creek, Virginia, Team 5 out of Coronado, California, the Blue Devils Assault Squad, the Black Knights Recon, and Vehicle Team 1 from Pearl Harbor. We even had a few guys from the original Team 6 out of Dam Neck, which had been disbanded in the late 80s. They were smart, experienced, seasoned. They had seen a lot of action and lost too many brothers. Black Knights Recon had been gathering data since Shadaloo had arrived in midnight. This wasn't just another mob. Shadaloo was known as one of the most dangerous crime organizations in the world. They were paramilitary and specialized in biochemical drugs and arms. They were well-funded and highly organized, skilled and covert criminals, fighters, and mercenaries. Reports indicated they had enough technology and weapons sufficiently advanced to rival a medium-sized nation. Shadaloo originated in Zanzibar land, a heavily fortified state in Central Asia, located between the former Soviet Union, China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, all the romantic weekend getaway spots. It was founded by one of the legendary mercenaries, a Russian fringe wetwork operative known as Solidus, a man hell-bent on achieving world domination through chemically manipulating and genetically enhancing super soldiers. The area, formerly Zanzibar Province, is an autonomous zone of the USSR. Despite military intervention, Zanzibar was able to win its sovereignty. Primary credit for the success was generally given to the mercenaries from around the world that participated in the war. Because of this, Zanzibar land's War of Independence was also known as the Mercenary War, bringing back to global attention the profession of the gun for hire. Add all that up, I don't know what the fuck it means, but you got some badass perpetrators and they're here to stay. Like a thief in the night. We stared at each other over beers after the successful completion of our mission. The mood was bittersweet. Things had gotten worse at midnight. Master Chief put his beer down, subtly surveyed the entrances and the patrons present at the bar, and then turned back to us with determined eyes. "We have to do something," he said. We all knew it. We knew the cost, too. It was time. We had finished our mission a week early and were ordered to lay low for a few weeks until the geopolitical dust from our mission had settled. We went dark, off the grid, quiet into the night. We had to be good. We had to be the best. We had to take back our city like a thief in the night. No prints, no paper trail, no leading evidence. We wanted to make it easy for Midnight's local Leos to look the other way. The The stomach-churning part was that we didn't need to. Even if they had found evidence linking to us, they wouldn't have cared. They had all lost so much and just wanted it to stop. We also had to be careful. We were the good guys. We had to minimize collateral damage and avoid getting the community involved as much as was possible. Retribution from the Shadowloo would be a body blow to the city. We had to be swift, proficient, and stay hidden in the cover of darkness. No one could know, just us. Thus, we fashioned ourselves a new unit name and new identities for the mission. We spent 3 days doing reconnaissance with the Black Knights. Another 3 days on mission strategy, optech, and weapons training. We needed to know everything we could about our enemy. We needed to know the city, its infrastructure, anything that would give us an edge. On the 7th day, we rested. We had to be focused and alert. No sense in a sloppy soldier getting everyone killed. N7, 2300 hours. We departed for one of the neighboring islands off the city's coast. We secured transport from our informant, Kaiser Sose, who ran a smuggling operation from a landing strip in Cuba. In addition to the weapons package, he had also been able to secure 3 6-person modified go-fast boats used during a SEAL training exercise in Mississippi. Those babies can do over 80 knots. He said he'd won them in a card game. We didn't ask. We were locked and loaded. Comms were up, boats were fueled, safeties were off. We were good to go. Section 8 was ready. The City of Midnight. Day 8. Hope flickers. It waxes and wanes with each passing day. The misery that has engulfed my once fair city is heavy like a thick fog. But there are those of us that are trained and willing to put everything on the line. We are Section 8, a specialized, off-the-books, unsanctioned black op that has but one purpose: annihilate the Shadowloo Syndicate. We made camp on one of the uninhabited islands 100 miles east at midnight, a little over an hour by boat. We arrived early on day 8 of our 14-day op, the first 7 of which were used for recon and weapons prep. We reviewed our mission objectives, synchronized our watches, readied our weapons, checked our gear, and swapped goodbye letters to give to each other's families. At 2100 hours, we proceeded to the boats. There were 18 of us, 6 men to a boat, 3 targets, each with different coordinates and mission parameters. Once at the target, 6 men would split into 3 groups, 2 men on the front, 2 men in back, and 2 coming in from the roof. We would take Shadowloo down in stages. Night 1 of the assault, designated N8, was a coordinated, simultaneous attack on Shadowloo's infrastructure, aimed at destabilizing their 3 main bases of operation: HQ, a weapons depot, and Shadowloo's control over the city's port, Platform 9 3/4. We'd hit them hard, cut off their legs, and beat them to a calculated pulp. We had the element of surprise, a formidable advantage in battle. The Hairy Edge. We approached the HQ perimeter fence from the riverbank. Team B and Team C respectively surrounded the weapons depot and the port's control room and causeway. The fence consisted of motion detectors, biometric pressure plates, and motion-activated sentries. Fortunately, we had better toys than they did, which was really saying something considering these guys must have paid a fortune for their optech. You can get next-gen stuff on the black market, but you'll have to pay for it. We navigated the perimeter security defenses without being detected. 6 of us split into 3 groups and spread out. It was knives and tranq guns only from here on out. Collectively, we encountered 15 guys patrolling the outer yard. The great thing about tranquilizer guns is that they don't make noise when you fire them. We dispatched non-lethal but effective force to 12 of the 15 guards. 3 had to be taken out with a knife. Quickly, quietly. Yep, through the neck tends to do the trick. The bombs would take care of the rest. These fuckers are lucky. They get to die in their sleep. We set charges at key structure points, just enough explosives to collapse each section in on itself. The exterior charges were set,
Now for the interior. The pan card we acquired from one of the guards proved to be most useful, enabling us to access the generator room. The few schematics of the facility we were able to drudge up showed panic sensors in the walls and ground, which would lock down in the event of an explosion. C4 was out, and besides, that would draw way too much attention. Exterior charges were set. We got into position, set our night vision to interior mode, and blew the lights and the front and back doors of the main building, which was fashioned into the side of a mountain. I crashed the party through the roof with my fellow brother. At that moment, as I dropped down into the break room, it was as if everything froze for a split second. Time stopped. There were 2 Russian mercs sitting on a couch in a corner playing Call of Duty. The irony wasn't lost on me. Off to the side were 4 guys shooting a game of billiards. They had taken their Kalashnikovs out of their jackets to play and rested them on the edge of the table next to the blue chalk. There were a couple of assholes in the back playing with their guns. There's nothing I hate more than a pussy with a gun in his hand. Whatever happened to the good bad guys? Tough guys with a pussy in their hand. Kids these days. They didn't know what hit them. The 2 playing Call of Duty each got 2 in the chest and 1 in the head. The 4 playing pool got the Swiss cheese treatment for my partner's rifle. And the 2 playing with themselves in the back, with their guns, got their fingers and dicks blown off by Master Chief's glorious entrance from the front door. 5 seconds to clear the room. Not bad, but we didn't have time to celebrate. You could hear the droves of pissed-off Russians stampeding hurriedly towards us. Their emotions were running high. We were counting on that. In their rush to confront the team that just devoured their comrades in a barrage of bullets, they forgot to check for tripwires. Oops, you didn't need that leg, did you? Gunfire erupted from every direction. Chaos ensued, but it was our kind of chaos. Controlled. We trained for this. The break room battle for the last bag of M&Ms was over. Victory was ours, or in this case, the vending machine. We made our way towards central operations, taking out guards every 30 feet or so. Things got progressively harder as we moved deeper into the enemy's lair. I took one in the shoulder. My buddy took one in the arm. But nothing was going to stop us from completing our mission. After peeling back Shadaloo's defenses and what seemed like hours, we were getting closer. We had been smart about our ammunition consumption and only used firearms when necessary. Our tripwires had been well placed to maximize efficiency. In other words, we were being smart about kicking ass. We made it through the break room, the armory, and the brig, down the shaft, through the halls, past security level 5, and finally, there it was. The Central Command Center. Charges had been set all over the base, inside and out. We were ready to end this campaign on a high note. We placed one final charge on the giant bay doors leading to the central operations. This time, with specialized explosives used for penetrating armored doors. We set the remote and detonated a person-sized hole in the wall. As we entered the brains of Shadaloo's operation, a giant black stealth fighter took off from a cavernous missile silo, which opened up from the ceiling. Son of a bitch! We regrouped and made for the exit, leaving a trail of carnage and chaos behind us. We made it to the entrance, picking off a few more guards that had felt it wise to challenge us. From the entrance, we made our way to the boats. Once beyond the perimeter, we detonated the charges and burned Shadaloo's operations to the ground. The aftermath. We looked up at the night sky with satisfaction. We had accomplished what we had set out to. Drive Shadaloo out. Even if only temporarily. You win some, and you lose some. We didn't get everything we wanted that night. We knew Solidus would be back, but by all accounts, we had won the night. Reports were coming in from the port and the weapons depot. We had successfully taken both. 2 of my brothers were killed in action. That night, we happy few, we band of brothers, stood together in one voice and said, "We will not quietly go into the night. We will fight on and make a better tomorrow for our brothers and mothers and fathers and daughters."